I want you to be an analyst now and look at the Dallas Cowboys. What do you see?
Well, that wasn't the way they wanted to start the season off last year. Last week when we watched that game. I think to provide a little perspective, you can't get ahead of yourself. It's one game, but they did not play well. I thought the defense showed some really good signs of what they can develop into with the pressure they're getting on the quarterback, the young corners and defensive backs being able to really play well and embrace that stage of what's expected on that defense and coming into its own. Offensively, I think most quarterbacks in the league, you need those pieces around you. And so they'll find ways to get Zeke Elliott going. I mean, you're going to see a lot of those 8-man boxes. I think the concern or what you weren't able to see and probably affected them was being able to stretch the field and move the ball. And
yeah.
I think Dak has all those intangibles, and we'll find it and evaluate it. Not having Travis Frederick in there, I think, really affects them. Not only is he an all-pro center, but the communication and how he handles all that. And so, that wasn't the way they wanted to start. Tough loss. They got to get that offense going. But I think Linehan and Garrett and Dak, they have the pieces in place that they just need to find ways to get those explosives and those big chunks. And that's, everybody wants to do that, right, Dan? I mean, that's, every offense is saying they need to do that. But they're doing it a little bit in unconditional ways, because you want to run the football so much. Well, then, you got to have some of those play actions and some of those pieces that come in behind it. And they weren't able to consistently get those big strikes. When you think back to 2016, that was a big difference. They were able to in 2016, you're able to find a lot of those plays. Much like Russell Wilson, when they had their big success, it all works together. The defense getting turnover stops. You saw Dallas defense taking big strides. Now that getting back to offensively, they want to run that football, but you saw it in that game. I mean, there was a lot of those dirty looks where it's so many guys that are down in the box giving that attention to Elliott.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to happen. But, I look at Dak Prescott, and I just don't think he has that bailout receiver where you and Dez could provide that, and he doesn't have that. He's got smaller guys there. They're still working on a tight end. And if I'm a defense, I just look at what Carolina did. Not that you can be Carolina's defense, but I just take that blueprint. I'm going to say 8 guys in the box. I'm going to dare you to beat us. We'll have man coverage. Let me see what you can do, Dak.
Yeah, I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to continue to see it, and they're aware of that. And I think you're going to see more of the run-pass options, finding those ways and early downs. I'm studying the Chicago game. That's who we call next week, and you see Matt Nagy do a lot of that for the quarterback, and it's just high percentage throwing catch that they stay ahead of the chains. And I think going back to that formula of winning on first down and second down. Well, it's not as easy just handing it off all the time. I mean, sometimes you got to use that in the passing game. So that's fair to say. I think they're well aware that they're going to have those type of looks, those dirty 8-man fronts, and finding ways to get those chunks on the outside. Beasley showed that he can do a lot of different things. But you're going to have those explosive plays, and I'm sure they're studying that right now to say, hey, that's where our attention we need to be better at.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.